Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So what are we doing today? Today I am doing a very special book tag. Hi Harry. Today I'm doing a very special book tag by a friend of mine, and the book tag is Let's Get Outside with Books Tag, and this was created by Sandy from Miss Reads a Lot. Now, if you don't follow Sandy or have never checked out her channel, you are missing out on a lot of fun. Sandy is just a wonderful person. She's got a wonderful channel. She does a lot of reviews, and she has a great passion for the outdoors. And so this tag is really shaped around her passion for the outdoors. It's also perfect timing because spring has come. Spring has sprung in South Carolina, which is where I live, and yesterday it was 80 degrees. So yeah, so let's just get right in. Oh, I wanted to say, if you are new here to my channel, then hi, welcome. I'm Shelly, and I absolutely love books and reading. I have a whole channel dedicated to the hobby, and if you like that kind of thing, then I would encourage you to subscribe. Okay, now let's actually get right into the tag. Before I actually jump right in, all of these questions are based around books set in the outdoors. And so there will be the title, maybe a little quick fact about the book, and then the question. So prompt number 1 is Into Thin Air. And the question is, what is one of your favorite books about or set in the outdoors? And that would be, it's gonna be Harry. Oh, Harry's being so cute. I cannot even. Are you okay, baby? Oh. Okay, so a book about or set in the outdoors. So the book is not necessarily set or about the outdoors, but it has some of the most gorgeous writing about nature that I have ever written. And the setting feels like a very alive place. And that doesn't mean just like the city or in this case, the house. It means like the whole surrounding area feels like it has a vibe and a personality. And for those of you who've read it, you'll all be like, yes, Shelly, we know. But that is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I actually read this with Alice from Alice and the Giant Bookshelf, who also has an awesome channel, and I'm going to link her channel down below, rather. Her and I read Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier last year, and it blew us out of the water. I really loved this book. One moment. Rebecca is probably a suspense or a mystery novel, and though the mystery of the novel is really good, it's really all about this nameless protagonist who's got kind of a secretive husband, and you're wondering, you know, what is the secret that he's keeping, and it has something to do with his now deceased wife. And so there's this whole mystery element, but what was most impressive to me was du Maurier's writing about the grounds of Manderley and the way that she turned Manderley into a whole character in and of itself. And actually, it's probably one of the most memorable characters throughout the book. And so Rebecca, just gorgeous writing about nature, just, oh, so beautiful. Prompt 2 is Winterdance. This is the story of Gary Paulsen running the Iditarod for the first time, even though he isn't particularly good at it. So do you have a hobby or skill that you keep attempting even if you are not particularly good at it? Yes, I keep on attempting to draw and to get better at drawing. This cycles back around every couple of years. This is probably because I have a sister who is an artist. I'll see if I can put up some photos of her art while I'm chatting. And my husband, he's a photographer. And so I think I maybe get FOMO, the fear of missing out on the whole being an artist thing. And so I pick up the pencil. And the last time I started drawing, I came up with this character. But I didn't get super far. I developed the characters and then I didn't do anything with them. So yeah, so I cycle around to drawing fairly often throughout my life. Okay, prompt 3, Wild. This is the story of Cheryl Strayed hiking the PCT, the Pacific Crest Trail, after the death of her mother. Recommend a book where the central theme is dealing with grief. Now, I always think of grief as when somebody passes, but there's a different kind of grief, and this kind of grief is what I'm gonna highlight or talk about today. And it's going to be based around the book Beautiful Boy by David Sheff. Beautiful Boy was written by David Sheff, and then his son, Nick Sheff, wrote Tweak, which is a book all about what it feels like to be a drug addict. And so Nick Sheff wrote Tweak, and it's based on his experiences. I mean, this is a memoir of his life, or the portion of his life where he's deeply immersed in drugs. And his father wrote kind of the opposite, or the counterpoint to Tweak, Beautiful Boy, which is all about a father's grief of losing his son to drugs, but not losing him as in like his son is passed, though I know there are many families who deal with that scenario as well. He's talking about the child that he had, Nick, his child, when he was a little boy, and he had these strong arms and this strong body, and then watching his son's body basically deteriorate or crumble under the addiction of drugs. And it was a gorgeous memoir, really, really beautiful, and really, I think, needed for those families who are suffering with those loved ones who are immersed and addicted to drugs. So I would highly recommend Beautiful Boy by David Sheff. Prompt 4, Into the Wild. This follows Chris McCandless, who travels to remote Alaska and unfortunately passes away in the wilderness. So the question is, does the idea of living off the grid or away from society appeal to you? I'm very charmed by the idea of living off the grid, but living off the grid in a house with plumbing. I mean, I'm kind of bougie in that way. And right now I live in a quiet neighborhood, and I live on like kind of a large property. I live on almost an acre of land. And so I feel like I'm rather spread out, though I do see people. And that's really kind of the perfect scenario. I like quiet. I like to not be bothered. And so if I did live up, but I like the creature comforts. Like I want to have coffee in the morning. I want to be able to shower, that kind of thing. So I feel like I like the idea of sort of being away from society, but I definitely want those creature comforts. Okay, prompt 5, A Walk in the Woods. This is the story of Bill Bryson and Katz hiking the Appalachian Trail. What is a book with a really interesting friendship? I'm gonna go with the book that has probably the best friendship of all time in literature, and that would be Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. And I'm thinking about the friendship between Sam and Frodo. Frodo is tasked with getting rid of this ring that has a lot of power, and so he goes on this very epic and long quest to get rid of the ring, and his companion, his supporter, is Sam. And I think that Sam has got to be one of the best friends, like the best written friends in all of literature. He's sweet and kind and good-hearted and looking out for Frodo's best interest, and their friendship is one that always and will probably always warm my heart. Prompt 6, Adrift. This is the story of Stephen Callahan's time lost at sea. And the question is, do you like the water? I love the water. I had a pool growing up in my backyard. My parents still live there, so I still swim in my childhood pool to this day. My children swim in that same pool, which I love. And I spend a lot of my summers in the pool, whether it be competitive swimming for a local swim team or just playing in the pool because it was available to me. So I love the water. I was called a little tadpole when I was younger because I could just swim so well and so fast. And yeah, so I've great memories around the water. Okay, prompt 7, Hatchet, a fictional story of a young boy who is in a plane crash while traveling to Alaska and has to survive with only a hatchet. So what is your favorite survival story? I'm gonna say it is Lauren Hillenbrand's Unbroken, which follows the runner Louis Zamperini. He's an Olympian, and he ends up signing up to fight in World War II. And during his time serving the military, he ends up becoming a prisoner of war in Japan, and it is his survival story, his ability to leave or to survive unbroken through a really, really treacherous and tumultuous time when he was a prisoner of war. It's a fantastic story. I actually read this with Sandy from Miss Reads a Lot, and we both greatly, greatly enjoyed this book. Prompt 8, A Perfect Storm. This is the story of fishermen who were lost at sea during a huge storm. Do you like stormy weather? Yes and no. So I live in a place that gets quite a few hurricanes. We get at least a hurricane warning almost every year, and we've had several hurricanes since I've lived here, and I've lived here for 12 years about. And I live in an area that can be quite swampy. So I love the atmosphere, the idea that you would look outside and you would see maybe lightning and hear the thunder and watch the rain come down, and that really kind of coziness that comes with storms. And then on the opposite end, I'm like, well, sometimes storms make my backyard a swamp. Sometimes they make them just really kind of icky. Sometimes it breeds a lot of mosquitoes in our area. So I have a mixed relationship with stormy weather. I'll say occasionally I like a really good storm if we haven't had one in a long time. But if we've had quite a few stormy days recently, yeah, no. I could definitely skip that. And the last question, or the last prompt rather, is tag some friends. And so I'm gonna give me 1 minute and I will tag a couple friends. The first one is Reed Becca. Then I have Jessie the Sleepy Koala. Next is Novel Opinions. And finally it is Reading with a Vengeance. So ladies, you were all tagged. Please do the tag if you feel so inspired, but of course don't feel any pressure from me. And that's it for me. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye guys.